All right. Welcome back. Ballin at What Cost, Summer 23 Season, Episode 2. We're just going to kick it off by saying congratulations to Denver Nuggets, Mile High City. Last year, they won in hockey. This year, they win in basketball. Okay? Nikola Jokic just might be the most, how do I even say this? I can't even say, he's like, I think he is the definition of savage because he doesn't care. He doesn't care. You know, you talk about all those U.S. U.S. ballers, right? All those college kids from the U.S., all about, they play through high school, college ball, and then they get drafted, and their whole image is ball is life. Their life is the basketball. There's nothing else. They dedicate their lives to basketball. Nikola Jokic, he treats it like a 9-to-5. Of course, it's not a 9-to-5, but he treats it like a 9-to-5. I have a boss who pays me money so that I can perform and do my job. And if I do my job really well, I'll get a bonus. And sure, the public, with all the praise and stuff like that. But, I got a good bonus. And then with that bonus, I could do a lot more with my life outside of the game of basketball. And I think because he treats it that way, he doesn't have this pressure, man. He just doesn't have this pressure of like, oh, I gotta freaking play this way or that way. He plays to win. That's his, dude, he's just so good. He's so good. He just he plays the game of basketball to win it. Like, he just plays it to win it. Like, he plays it to defend well. He plays it to score well. Greatest all time, like George Orwell. Okay, stop now. Stop. But that's what I'm trying to say. It's actually insane. And I don't think there's anything boring about his game either. Because he gets it done, because every time you're like, oh, but all he does is just like post up. Couple dribbles, pushes his big body and pushes his ass towards closer to the freaking under the hoop. And they just lays it up. But that's like the way I look at it. It's like every time he does that, it's like Mayweather getting in the ring. Can anyone stop this like perfected approach or strategy? Can anyone stop it? Like, that's the question, and no one could. And the way he just plays it, oh my God. You always, the flashiest part about Jokic's basketball game is the assists, like his court vision. He's so aware of where every single player is at all times. He just bam, 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 that way. He doesn't even have to look. He has so many no-look passes. He just dishes it out that way, bam, bam, bam. Like, it's absolutely insane. Like, he is a team player. He's the definition of a team player. Like, every single play he makes is just for the team. That's it. And it's kind of like in the perfect world of the basketball sport, where the head coach is like so in tune with the player, or with one player that calls all the shots on the court, and everything's just so in tune. I think there was just something so much more superior about the Denver Nuggets game than anyone else's. Like, it was like every now and then – you could beat him in a game or two, But just overall, it's so good. And then you have Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray already showed us glimpses of his superstar abilities back in the 2020 playoffs, the bubble, right? He was popping the hell off. Just going off, right? And it's something about like that, like, because if Jokic can't do his thing, right, where you just bam, bam, post up, bam, it's in, or like dishes out, like makes a perfect assist where someone's completely open and they make the, if they're in that situation where it's kind of like, damn, we just need someone who scores real well and actually does it, Jamal Murray's that guy. Jamal Murray also just steps up, and he's just freaking, he also does it all. He's super athletic, in my opinion, like considering he's had like a string of injuries previously in his career. But I think he's crazy athletic, crazy confident too. You can just feel it. It's kind of like, not making comparisons, but slightly, but kind of like Steph Curry, in my opinion. There's just the confidence when the ball gets, when he kind of just makes this decision. All right, this is my play. I'm gonna fucking shoot that bitch. It goes. So Jamal Murray actually is a fucking legend too. I don't know. I think the Denver Nuggets, they just played so well. It's hard to, yeah. Like when they swept the Lakers, I think it was pretty much over. For reals. And to be honest, I'm not gonna shit on the Heat at all. Obviously, in the perfect world, I would have wanted to see the Heat take it. I was rooting a lot for Jimmy Butler, and I feel like there was something so like raw about the Miami Heat like game. But that's the thing. There's just not. It's not like chiseled and refined, so that if one player or two players, or if the bench players, or something doesn't click that night, then there's not much of a basis to fall back on. Then it's like you're just struggling. You're kind of just struggling. And that's the whole thing with, I think Denver Nuggets was like the only team that had a game where it was like bulletproof, man. Like there was nothing. There was very little for you to be able to do to catch them off guard. Of course, I'm not saying they were invincible. It's not like they swept every single series. They swept the Lakers, but even like the Lakers, like you would have thought the Lakers could have gotten like one game. So, and that was the Western Conference Finals, right? So, it's just nuts. It was a crazy NBA season. It's been all over on Twitter. It was one of the funniest seasons of all time, and yes, I personally think it was. Just so many hilarious moments, all kinds of drama. And then now, like, the biggest, like, just a fucking season of memes. Memes everywhere. So many jokes. So much drama. Which I like. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Because, it's funny. That's, in the context of funny, it's usually in the context of positivity. So, I don't mind that at all. The hell else? Yeah, I guess now it's just, as far as the NBA world goes, we're just kind of wondering if Ja Morant's going to get that freaking, how bad of a suspension he's going to get. It's all on Adam Silver's hand now. And it is hilarious. I have to admit that the whole situation. I don't know. I seriously don't know what to say because Ja Morant is young. I get it. He has all this. But it was like, the whole thing I still don't get is if you're actually trying to act that way, just fucking admit it. Just fucking admit it. Don't say, oh, I apologize for my actions, make a donation to a charity, and it's obviously your PR team typing up everything. Just admit it. Admit it. Go on a freaking, go on an IG live like he's been doing, just IG lives all the fucking time, and that's what got him in trouble. Throw on an IG live and just be like, guys, I really want to be a gangster. I'm an African American fella. I got tons of money. Why can't I be a savage with a freaking gun? It's my right to be a gun. It's my right to have a gun. I'm very young. I enjoy going to strip clubs, throwing money at hoes. I like all that. Why is that a problem? I get it's not the most positive image to show to kids, but those are things that make me happy. The happier I am, I think the better I'll be able to play. Do you want me to win? Or do you want me to lose? Seriously. Why is Ja Morant not doing that? Because I hate this fake shit. I hate it when you're just like, you're hiding behind like a whole team, like a whole staff of PR people. And he's getting censored himself. He's not him. Right? It's just like, look, again, not making fucking comparisons, but it's just like when MJ was on top of the world. And then people were accusing that he was a degenerate gambler. And what the fuck did he say? I enjoy gambling. I really like it. I don't have a gambling problem. I just like to gamble. I have the money to gamble. I'm gonna gamble. That's what makes, I'm sure because of that, then that's that. What are you gonna do? What can you argue against that? That's the thing. Right now, if Ja Morant's just making these, like, okay, what, like 3 times? Was it 3 times or was it 2? I think it was like, I remember the first time when he like held the gun by the, not the trigger, but like the butt of the gun. He just held it like this, right? And it was like a gun like the size of my coffee cup. Like it was a tiny gun. And he flashed it, right, on IG Live. That was the first thing. And then I think the second thing didn't involve a gun. The second thing was just that he was just at a strip club or something like that, right? Getting lap dances and shit. And then the third time was his buddy was on IG Live. And then again, they were just balling to music in the car. And then, of course, he's got a pistol out. Like this time, he's got it held up, you know. So, okay. So you do that. And then every single statement afterwards has been a PR statement where obviously he didn't write it. Obviously, he didn't actually write it. He had someone else who got paid a lot of money to write it, and then he copy-pasted it onto his. So he probably didn't even post it. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay? And that's when you can start arguing. What do you mean? Oh, you're so sorry. What do you mean you're sorry? Like, look at your influencing kids. Like, if he just came up and said, look, I like guns. I have a lot of money. Maybe people are trying to take it from me. I like to be protecting myself, and it's my constitutional right to protect myself. I'm not a gun advocate, but that's the way it is in the U.S., right? I'm just thinking realistically. And then he's like, at the same time, he's like, well, you know, I don't want to be in an intimate relationship, so I kind of like all these girls, and especially when they're strippers, and that's kind of what they do, and there doesn't need to be this, like, I don't have to go through like IG hoes who act like they fall in love with me, but they're actually in it for the money. At least these strippers and these hoes, they just like, I just give them money and then they shake their ass in my face and maybe I get to bang them in a 5-star hotel room. What is there to argue about? What the fuck is there to argue about? He's 23 years old, isn't he? He's 23 years old. Isn't that what a 23-year-old probably fucking likes? And we're acting like this is like the, you know, it's not even him acting gangster. I think it's like the fact that he's in this weird spot where he doesn't want to fully admit it to the public. And then at the same time, he still kind of wants to show you that he's like a kid, right? Like, or that he's like, you know, it's not like he's just fucking reading history books at home and playing fucking chess and having a cup of tea, right? He likes to enjoy things. And it's not like LeBron James where he, you know, he's fucking buying like a 50,000 bottle of wine and having like a nice cigar and then spending time with the wife and children. He's not at that stage in his life. He's at a stage in his life where he just enjoys a little strip club. And yeah, sure, he has a gun on him because, you know, it makes him feel a little safer. And then every now and then, of course, he can flash it around a little bit because it is his gun and he did spend money on it, right? And he wants to know that if anyone starts fucking with him, at least he's got an item to protect himself. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. What the hell? Like, I'm sure if Ja Morant actually just went straight to, like, as soon as he, like, realized that this is what he was into and this is what he likes, I'm sure if he went straight to Adam Silver, he was like, look, Adam, I really like going to strip clubs. And on top of that, I really like to have a gun on me because I feel like I should have the right to protect myself. And these are all my rights. Sure, that's not going to be my whole image because I still love basketball and I really appreciate the National Basketball Association. But what the fuck, Adam? I'm 23. Strippers, hoes, guns, booze. I like it all. What am I supposed to do? God damn it. That's how you work things out. I don't know. I think this whole situation is just a shame. It's just a shame because if there wasn't this whole freaking media censorship / advertising censorship dealio, you know, Ja Morant could be balling like the amazing talent that he is on court, and at the same time he could be doing whatever the hell he wants outside of it. Doesn't, guys, you fucking watch him because of basketball. Again, I go back to the same question. Do you want him to win or do you want him to lose? And right now he's losing because, oh, no, you can't go in your strip clubs. You can't have a gun. Yeah. Why not, dude? He's 23 years old. Get a grip, okay? And then now he has to learn from his mistake. Bro, I know for a fact he doesn't think it was a mistake. I know for a fact. He's pissed. Now he's fucking pissed. Now he's questioning if it's going to be, like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Ja Morant, like, ends up retiring before, like, 26 or something. Or 25. Because he just can't deal with the media. Like, he thought that he could just play really good basketball and that's that. But nope, it's so overcomplicated. We've seen in other sports where people literally retire because of the media. It's like they could be in the sport for a long time, but it's like the media and all this pressure about advertisers and everything is like, what do you mean, dude? Shouldn't we teach kids that you can be whoever you want to be as long as you live with the consequences? Right? Like, if you just, you know, I had to get on this Ja Morant rant. Ja Morant. because I don't know, the whole situation. Like, I think the whole situation just could have been avoided. And now Ja Morant is probably gonna at least, like, my guess is at least he's suspended for first half of the season, next season, right? But oh my god, it's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. 23 years old, dude. He's 1 year older than me. That's it. And I know what I'm into. And I know if I had that amount of money, it's not like I would just be and what is even responsible? Like, as long as he, like, of course he's not fucking what's his name? He's not Lamar Odoming this fucking shit. He's not doing lines of coke. You know, he's not like a drug fiend or anything. He wants to blow up. What the fuck? Okay, but I feel like I'm going to go in a loop if I keep on talking about this. But anyways, that's the NBA for you, you fucking... Oh, yeah, I can't wait for the next season. I can't. It's going to be crazy. Damian Lillard, like, probably going to go somewhere. Chris Paul got waived by the Phoenix Suns, so he's a free agent. So a lot of things happening. Let's see what the off season and next season will bring to us. Anyways, let's go into more current events because it's race week, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to Canada, where there's nothing to worry about. Shit, man. I like the Canadian Grand Prix. If we're just talking about the track, I really like it. And the fact that it's on a fucking island, like, that's kind of sick, right? Like, that's actually pretty cool. That's actually really, really cool. Montreal, it's the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Amazing. Yeah, it's on a freaking island. I think that's super freaking cool. I didn't know Montreal had an island, but I guess they do. And I guess they just race cars on it. You know. I'm not talking about, like, I just discovered this now. But, like, when I started getting into F1, I was like, oh, shit, there's an island on Montreal? Fucking what? Anyways, it's kind of like a shaped, not as intense as Jeddah, but kind of reminiscent. They have a beautiful hairpin. I'd argue probably the best hairpin in the F1 calendar. A legendary one, 96, I think. Jacques Villeneuve overtook the legendary Michael Schumacher, nudged him, went down the inside and nudged the fuck out of the guy to win the world championship. I think it was that. Yep. At home as well. Some savage shit. The results so far, pretty... Let's go through them once again after the last race that we had. Let's go drivers first. Okay, so Red Bull, Max Verstappen all the way in front. It's going to be too repetitive. Keep on talking about that guy. Anyways, Max Verstappen all the way up. There's more than a 50-point difference between him and Sergio Perez, and Perez is second in the World Drivers' Championship. It's a little bit tighter. Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, that's still pretty tight between third and fourth place. Fernando Alonso doing well, still scoring points, but it's very obvious that Mercedes, especially after last weekend in Spain, never mind, not last weekend in Spain, the weekend before that in Spain, that the Mercedes has improved quite a lot, the car. And I genuinely think that it's going to be a pretty close race to the end of the season with Aston Martin and Mercedes, at least with Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton in terms of drivers. But also the constructors, I think just generally the two cars are going to be battling it out quite a lot, which I don't mind. Dark green and the full black against each other. What else? Carlos Sainz is not that far behind George Russell, 5th and 6th place. Sainz is currently 7 points behind George Russell. Sainz did Sainz is gonna. I can already say this. Sainz is gonna be the better driver in terms of points at the end of the season with Ferrari. Leclerc is there's just so much bad luck with him. And I feel like Sainz is only just getting more and more used to the car and getting more and more out of it. So Sainz is a savage. He's going to get a podium soon. And yeah, I'm going to be putting my money on that. I almost put money on him getting a podium in Spain, but Spain. But yeah, he lost out a little bit in terms of pace. Ended up 5th, but he qualified like 2nd, I think. So yeah, just now he's kind of able to match Leclerc's qualifying pace. I wouldn't say, or just like performances. Like now it's up there, because Leclerc's really known for being a savage when it comes to qualifying. But now Sainz is slowly catching up in terms of qualifying. And in terms of the race, Sainz usually has a little bit more luck than Leclerc has. And I don't know. Leclerc's just a lost little puppy right now. Lance Stroll, 8th place behind the two Ferraris. They're in 6th and 7th. I think Lance Stroll could do some crazy I think if he's definitely going to get a podium. I don't think he has so far. No, I don't think so. And it's okay. He's also just had a string of bad luck. He just misses out a little bit always on qualifying. And then, in terms of the race, it's so high pressure. Not high pressure, but there's so many, if you make small mistakes, it costs you quite a lot of time. It's really close, the field nowadays. So, but I still have faith Lance Stroll could maybe do something this Canadian Grand Prix. Possibly. Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, 9th and 10th. Bunched up quite a lot together. Esteban Ocon's 10 points ahead of his teammate, but that's just because of the really good performance podium in Monaco. And I have a feeling Lando Norris is going to catch up to someone. I think Lando Norris is going to be top 10 at one point for sure. Or at the end of the season, he's going to be in top 10 of the World Drivers' Championship. And other than that, Nick DeVries and Logan Sargent, the only ones that haven't scored a point yet. But Nick DeVries has been close a few times. And Logan Sargent, he's getting used to F1 machinery. I'm not going to shit on him that bad. My boy, Zhou Guanyu, scoring some points in Spain. I love to fucking see it. That was my highlight for the race. Otherwise, I didn't really give a damn. But my boy Zhou Guanyu scored some points in Spain and shit. He's good, man. You can't deny that. Especially this season. I don't know what's been going on with Bottas. I think him and the new management of the team just haven't been clicking so well as much as he was clicking with Frederic Vasseur, who went to Ferrari now. But anyways, Bottas struggling a little bit, and Joe capitalizing on that and just getting better and better. He's a savage. I can't wait for next season when they hopefully finally go back to Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix. That would be insane scenes. But anyways, Zhou Guanyu, a savage. Calling it right now. He's scoring points at least 3 more times this season. Okay, he's feeling good. He's getting much more in tune with the car, especially with a track like Spain where it's so technical. You're always on the limit, and he was able to score points there and manage the tires, everything like that. Savage, bro. That's my guy right there, bro. That's my guy. Let's go to the teams real quick. Points-wise, bam, Red Bull is, I don't know, if we're in round 9, hold up. If we're in round 9 out of 23, I think by round freaking what, like 15 or 14 or 13 even, like somewhere ridiculous, they're already going to win the Constructors' Championship. I think the Red Bull are on another level this season. Their car is far more superior than any other car. Max Verstappen got a Grand Slam in Spain, which is what the hell is it? It's fastest. It's pole position, fastest lap, first place, and led every single lap of the race. Yeah, and he did that in Spain too. So what are you gonna do, guys? What are you gonna do? Gotta buy more Red Bulls, bro. To be honest, I've been trying to focus on my dental hygiene. So I've been, trying to steer away from the sugary drinks. So I haven't been drinking that many Red Bulls so far. And it's probably because I'm getting old, but I enjoy my coffee a lot more nowadays. So, but anyways, Red Bull, I like it. I know that in terms of the whole brand of Red Bull, I love what they do. One of my dream jobs would be a freaking, editor for all the freaking sports or action sports content that they make. There's no other freaking company in the world that supports action sports, or honestly all kinds of sports in general, as much as Red Bull does. So be a dream come true if I could ever work there. Shout out to Red Bull. Always been a believer. Used to have a big Red Bull addiction back in high school. You guys kept me alive. And even though it wasn't the cheapest energy drink, I still bought that motherfucker because I knew you guys were making some fucking next level fast cars. And now it's paying off. So you're welcome, Red Bull, actually. I would consider myself as a minority stakeholder. Or not minority. I would consider myself a contributor to all your success. Mercedes. Aston Martin Mercedes. Mercedes is leading right now in the Constructors' Championship. And it's just because teamwork wise, Russell and Hamilton are really good. Except for the fact that they almost both just crashed out in Spain, like just because of miscommunication, and George Russell for a second didn't look back in his mirrors, and they almost crashed out. It was bad in the main straight. Lewis Hamilton was trying to get through. And then George Russell didn't expect him to try to come through. And then George Russell almost accidentally pushed Lewis Hamilton off. And that was kind of nutty for like a second. I freaked out when I saw that because it was close to because it was the right front wheel to the back left wheel. So there was a chance that, Lewis Hamilton's car that was coming from behind could have gone airborne. So, yeah, that was kind of scary. But anyways, Mercedes still, teamwork is superior compared to Aston Martin. I'm not saying Aston Martin necessarily are doing bad, because especially like the Spanish race, like Lance Stroll was one place ahead of Fernando Alonso, and there was like really good teamwork there. But in terms of like elevating each other, I think there's something about not just be negative, but I feel like Fernando Alonso sometimes is trying his best to like take Lance Stroll with him in terms of pace and performance. But then with George Russell and Lewis Hamilton, they're just more like pushing each other. Like George Russell does really well in one aspect of the race weekend, and then Lewis Hamilton does well in another aspect, and they kind of just like, climb up together throughout the weekend. So I think that's the dynamic that is making Mercedes at least win the leading the Constructors' Championship on top of Aston Martin. But like you saw, the rundown I went through with the Drivers' Championship, like Fernando Alonso is still above Lewis Hamilton. So, that's literally what it is. I think I am being as objective as possible. I'm not being subjective. That's just kind of how I see everything, especially when you see how Lance Stroll is below like the two Mercedes and the two Ferrari drivers. It's like okay. Anyways, that's about for F1, man. Canadian Grand Prix, I'm really excited for it, and I think it's a double header now. So we go Canada, or actually I might be tripping. We go Canada. Yeah. I'm tripping. I'm sorry. We go Canada, all right? Do the Canadian Grand Prix real quick, and then we have a week break, and then there's a double header, Austria and then Silverstone. And that's pretty freaking amazing, personally, because honestly, Spain wasn't that bad of a track. It was pretty interesting. But like now after the Imola got canceled, now we have like fire races. We went from Monaco to Spain, right? But like wet weather Monaco, and then newly improved Spain, which worked really well. And then now we go into Canada, where there's a nice straight, there's a beautiful hairpin, it's very technical, it's very fast. And then at the same time, after that, we go to Austria, which is the shortest but 3 DRS zones, so the fastest probably track in the whole season. And then after that, we go to Silverstone, and Silverstone's amazing. High-speed corners, really intense, brings out, amazing racing there. I don't even have to talk about last year's Silverstone race. And then we go to Hungary after that, right, where Hungary is also an awesome track with a lot of overtaking potential. And then we go to Spa after that one. So from now on, from pretty much the end of May, which was Monaco, up until the end of July, we have every single track is like absolutely fire. And then we go to Zandvoort, and I don't really know what I feel about Zandvoort. I like how it looks. I like the banking. But in terms of overtaking, it's not that insane. So, like, I would say, genuinely, we have, from now on, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next 5 Grand Prix are amazing tracks with lots of overtaking potential, which means lots of drama, right? Lots of action that could be promised within the race, which I'm hyped about. Man, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be really exciting. Yeah, but I think that's about it. We have, I got to tip my hat to the UFC. The one that just went past last weekend. Nunes versus Aldana. But then again, the biggest story was Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush as a co-main event. And oh my God. Charlie du Bronx. I woke up for the fight. It was amazing. When was it? I think it was like 6:30 or something in the morning. I woke up pretty much just for this fight. I think I said this, or I don't know, but this was pretty much the only like big draw about UFC 289. I'm sorry. Okay, but that was the general consensus, and I personally kind of followed that consensus. Charles Oliveira goes against Beneil Dariush, and honestly, Beneil Dariush was the favorite to win. Beneil Dariush is a big guy, heavy hitter, very, pretty damn technical, and a very like savage dude, right? And on top of the fact that, Charles Oliveira, people are kind of doubting him, especially after he lost to Islam Makhachev like that, and we thought he was on another level, and then he still gets like kind of dominated by Islam Makhachev. So there was a lot of doubts, and people praise Beneil Dariush quite high. Like they're saying he is the dark horse of the lightweight division. He should be like there contending for the belt. But man, what's the whole story about Charles Oliveira? He just fucking silences the doubters, man. He just silences the doubters. Beneil, yeah, he landed a few hard shots at the very start of the round, and then they were scrambling all on the ground. And don't forget, Charles Oliveira is very, very, very nasty, and he could take a shot. It's the first half of the round was pretty much, Charles Oliveira had Beneil Dariush, had the full guard, and Beneil Dariush was on top, and Dariush was trying his best to land some ground and pound, and Charles was doing his best to bob and weave and dodge the shots, and he ate a few of them, like I'm sure he did. And then as soon as they get up, they finally get up. I think like the second time, or like the first time they get up properly, man, Charles Oliveira just unleashes it, man. There's something about like especially if Charles Oliveira, you get him on the ground, to begin with, and then he kind of doesn't find any success, and then he gets up, he's like, okay, you challenged me on my game, now I'm gonna bring it back to you. Like now this is your game. Let's see how well you respond to this. Bam, bam, bam. His shot. Charles Oliveira has the heaviest shots. He throws with heavy intent, and it's so clean, man. It's so precise, everything he does, man. The kicks are just so like it's got that oomph to it, and it's scary. You gotta block it with everything you got. And Charles Oliveira connected on some of the shots, and then after that, Dariush was wobbled, bam, 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 a little bit more ground and pound, and the accuracy too. Charles, like, with Dariush scrambling, stunned and shaking all over the place, Charles was still like precise, just landing it on the noggin. with power, and then bam, TKO in the first round. Performance of the night. Now Charles Oliveira holds the title for the most finishes in the UFC history. Who's better than the Bronx, motherfuckers? No one. No one. I think if Islam fights Volkanovski first, then do it. But I think Charles Oliveira should be the next one to fight Islam Makhachev. I think you need to give... I think he fucked up. I think he honestly just fucked up, right? And we need the rematch, okay? If anything, this could be the craziest lightweight trilogy fight ever. I genuinely think both men are equally as dangerous. Really. Really. Because they're both like, they have the elite striking, but then they have the grappling background. One's sambo and one's jiu-jitsu. Right. The only difference is, okay, Islam Makhachev is probably stronger. Right. And that's what makes him the champion. Islam Makhachev is probably the strongest 145er. 155er, sorry. So, Charles Oliveira, fucking, you're a legend. And on top of that, let's just give it to Amanda Nunes, the lioness, okay? She's also a legend in my eyes. Double champ and defended her belt so many goddamn times. What was it, 10 or 11 times? Again, just absolutely picked apart Irene Aldana. I watched the first 2 rounds and then I went back to sleep. I ain't gonna lie to you. And Amanda Nunes retired after that, after winning that fight, and it's perfectly right. I think what she did was, it's justified. There's really no competition for her out there. There really isn't. And if anything, she could kind of just Henry Cejudo this thing. Retire as double champ, and then wait till your divisions that you're a champion of get a lot more high, like spicier. There's actual real challenging contenders that if you match up, then it could break another barrier, especially in the women's titles, right? So Amanda Nunes, what a freaking legend. One of the most dominant fighters in the UFC, realistically. If you look at her title reign, the one Juliana Pena loss, that was just a fluke, to be honest. She was just, whatever. Let her choke. Like, I'm sure if Nunes was like something like she had a better mentality going into that fight, she wouldn't have like just fallen into that trap or anything, or tried her best to get out of that freaking choke. But anyways, and then Juliana Pena starts talking and chirping on Twitter right after her retirement. It's like, come on, you guys rematched and you got your ass handed to you. Okay, so yeah, Amanda Nunes, what a freaking legend. Congratulations on your career. Probably, definitely the most dominant double champ there ever was. I would argue more dominant than Henry Cejudo. And yeah, I will say this is probably not her last time in the octagon. She has another baby coming on the way. She wants to spend time with the family. She already has one little one. So I completely understand if she wants to take like even like 2-3 years out. And she's still young, I think. 35. Yeah, I think if she takes like 2 years off, 3 years off, family things are going well, and then see how's the bantamweight title going and all that, and then yeah, I'm sure if everything gets a little bit better, then yeah. What a savage. Anyways, that's UFC. There's, I heard before 289, there was a thing that there's like 12 weekends in a row of UFC now, which is freaking insane, but that's how it is. This weekend we have Vittori versus Cannonier, number 3 in the middleweight division versus number 4 in the middleweight division. Butting heads, 2 very heavy strikers in the middleweight division. They're the main event in UFC Apex. And then after that, a bunch of more stuff to come. But the next numbered event is going to be UFC 290, and that's in the first full week of July. Yeah, and that's going to be Alexander Volkanovski versus Rodriguez, the interim champion of the featherweight versus the champion of the featherweight. I'm running out of words. This is my first time trying not first time, but a rare occasion where I'm doing an early day podcast. So the juices ain't flowing fully yet, but that one's gonna be pretty amazing. Where is it, by the way? Oh, it's in Las Vegas. Okay. Yeah, no, the main card is absolutely insane. I'll tell you that. Main card's absolutely insane. Robbie Lawler still fighting. Jesus. Oh, Jack Della Maddalena is fighting. Yo, I got to prepare myself for this one. Jesus, I got to watch this whole card, man. Yo. Okay, well, now I know. I got to make sure all my sleeping schedule is on point, and then bam. When we get to UFC 290, I'm going to be watching that whole card. Let's see if I can make some content out of it. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, pray for Ja Morant. We're balling at what cost. He knows what balling at what cost means. Summer 23 season. Guys, go check out this golf short that I made. It was something different that I wanted to try out. And I think it turned out really well, especially with the music. And it was just something different. And I feel like I did really well with the editing. And it was simple and cinematic. It's 30 seconds long. Go check it out, please. I love you guys. Go outside, get some vitamin D, get a tan, get your dick sucked. We're balling. I'll see you guys later.